Hi everyone, early morning video again, which I don't mind doing. Early hours are nice and quiet, and the quiet to me signifies the perfect time to go quiet in your own expanse. Not that we need quiet, otherwise we'll start holding off things like meditating until we've got complete silence, but doing your best to make the time where you can close the door, have some sacred space of this is me time to go into the unknown. The unknown is what we've been afraid of, really, because we are afraid of change in a lot of ways, and the systems we live in are built up from this concrete, piled on top of each other. We don't have to change. And so, without going into that too much right now, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to sit down with themselves and say, we don't really like things that way. We don't really like things that way. In anything to do with life and how you have to access things, ask for things, if you want something, all the rigmarole you normally have to go through. We really don't make life somewhat of ease level, like ease is natural and okay. We've kept things the same for a long a long way, and it shouldn't take like some real convincing for change, because to rise in change, you just need to consider a few things to allow new to come to fruition. So anyway, won't say any more about that right now. What I want to do is stop, now come along with me in something, and that something is you don't know. The statement is we don't know. And I want us to let go in that. So let's do that. So anything at all in life, in your energy field that you've been holding onto, and the usual human inner to outer outlook is, I'll just do that. That fits. I'll do that. Now we're going to sit with that and say, well, actually, I don't know anything. I'm going to let it all go. I don't know anything. We're bringing ourselves back down to earth. We're up in the mind all the time. And the reason why a lot of things from the mind don't work out is because they don't land. They're not meant to. If something you've been doing, or you're just going to make something fit again, or same, and it's not landing to where somewhere in your gut you know you want to be, then it's not meant to land in your reality. So you can ask yourself that question: have I been repeating something? Am I telling myself this piece will fit? Or here's another one for us all that is suffocating in our energy field. Nothing is working. Nothing we do for this situation, for these global responses, nothing's working. Let's land in the truth. I don't want us to go to our little highs right now where we go, oh, but hang on, we're on a good path with this. We've got this going on. Leave that alone. There are other things going on, and we need to free up our space, our energetic space, to follow truths. Okay. Now there's somewhat a landing of, if you could picture this, this is like a bouquet, right? Each and every one of us. My hands like this is the bouquet. And then so you would picture flowers, stems coming down to a grounded point. There is somewhat a grounding. Now I do have Matthias in my field, so he gets in the way of meaning and purpose I'm delivering. Okay? Because still, he won't agree with anything else but his same. And yes, he is part of the reason of this field that we live, that also thinks the same. It's highly and extremely frustrating that we don't listen to the obvious the divine has given. Because I know in my being, I can feel into solution, okay? Not that I can do it on my own. But we're not feeling into the truth. We are continuing in system and, oh, he is annoying. I'll just pause for a moment to deal with this because to put it into words. And guides, could we please clear him from my thought process into my expression process, because that's the stuff around where he is. If I can get in the way of this, that will be good. But the whole reason why he wants to get in the way of it is because he does not believe in himself. Okay, and the simplicity of that is, if someone's been living the more exterior world, like this world does, and this is part of the shift, and not the belief part that what they're seeing, they are needed for. It's like he's standing at a glass door he can see through, but he won't believe he's needed on the other side. And he plays his importance like, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there, in this invisible all the time. And it's like, open the glass door and get through. You're a human that's needed. Okay? Now that's what it's come to. I'm not anyone who wants to change people's minds or push them into their path. But this has been going on for ages, where he just can't agree. He's needed somewhere. He's already done the dancing of what he could have. And now he actually has to get his ass through the glass door and go be it, do it, live it. He's analyzed and watched enough. What's there? No more excuses. I said it in 24, 25, and we're in 26. Stop giving yourself excuses. And I can say this to the world as well. But the world needs their, I don't like to call it waking. It is waking up. The world needs to wake up. But what that actually is when we hear truths, and when we go a little deeper in our gut, and then we investigate these truths by talking it out with others in the world. Who else thinks this the way I think when I'm resonating with this truth? How else is this truth working in the world? So the world's not at that, which is why, with my frustration of the same things going on with Mr. Invisible, I want to help teach us what it feels like to leave the world and drop right in to what you, soul, connected to heaven and earth, truly resonate from the seeds of your creative center that want to blossom and bloom. But we're so consumed. This is the way life is. Commercialism is our thing. We don't even stop to think. Only when we hit chaos, crisis, or emergency do we actually go, you know what? I probably wasn't meant to be there, because I actually had a calling to go and do something else. But for some reason, I decided not to believe it at all, like it wasn't for me. I wouldn't be good enough to do that thing I really wanted to do. And so you carry on thinking that way about yourself, and you hit brick walls. Life will stop you somehow, because it's trying to say, go back within, right? But really, go back within means redirect. Remember what you came up with when you were finally stopped. And you get to this peaceful awareness inside that says, I'm just meant to do this. I got to stop fighting it as a human. I got to stop trying to figure it out. Like a human that we have been. And I say it like that because we are manipulated by what has been. When something is created in this world, it has been created, but not that it's not available for adapt or change to ongoing growth of the soul. So by admitting, like I did at the start of this video, we don't know anything, assists us with the truth of it that says, in our guts, each day, we think we've got it all organized. And hats off to us for a lot of good things in play. And like you would have been thinking, well, hang on, this is working, this is working, this is working. But yeah, on a whole, things still need to be looked at to get some airflow through because there is a lot that stops us from growing at the chest in like soul bouquet where we feel free there. Literally like we're in a heart field. So there is a lot we do not know. Okay, and what's our fix? Our fix is generally, have I made enough money? Am I pleasing everyone else? When can I go and buy something next? And that's fine. We're on planet Earth. We're allowed to do things we enjoy, but they become like life instead of, I love my sacredness, and when I connect to it and know the depth of myself, life takes on more veins that feed to me and I to life contentment. And that is my life experience. So when you think of those gorgeous clear globes and you see the electricity that can run off to the edges of the sphere, you know, when you touch with your own electricity, well, we can have more veins in connection, so more wholeness to us. But we have become like concrete, joined together beliefs held in place for money, building it, building walls, and then judging people to stand on top of them and have more money and look down at them. And this is people, souls on this planet, and we shouldn't be doing that. It's trash. Life is not what's in your shopping cart. Enjoy your shopping cart, but don't put all your power center, foundational earth in it. So like you walk out of the shopping center and you're like so identified or connected with things. Okay? You can be, to a small extent, in the joy of, I enjoy these things. Okay? But that's where it's at. And if we live for what we can have in our hands, this is what life looks like. Where we can't actually get through to each other. And I know it's going to the extreme, but if we can't get through to each other on the smaller levels of life, like the between each other levels of life, then it looks like leaders in our world making a mess if they want, right in front of our eyes, to humans. And this pains me to see anywhere in the world. Like, we are not grounded. We think our grounding is concrete money. Buildings. We think we're the buildings. Now, when I say that, it's a description of literally how we can feel living in this world. We have become concrete buildings in front of each other, thinking we're looking great because we got phones. Now, it's a direct line comment because we live through them. And it's like gambling with your life addiction. You don't know when to put your phone down. You've got to have some healthy kind of conviction to watch what you're doing with your life. And there's no clear role models of that. It's like we're scraping at, how's the saying go? Scraping at straws on how to do that. Anyway, the way in is if more of us are confronting our life experience as a mystical, magical, helped light path. Now, I'm going to say life because I know the majority who will hear this will go whoosh in thought when I say light path. And good on you for any grounding you have with the awareness of light path. Because it generally means I keep an eye on my actions, choices, thoughts of me, thoughts of life. I have that constitution that says I make sure what I give out, I'm aware of any thought between my thought, my chest, and building in my body in thought momentum. I'm aware before those wheels kick off. Because once those wheels kick off from my thought to my chest, should I do it? If I ignore my chest that, oh, that might not be good for them, or let's just continue that anyway. And I go to my gut and my creative center and think, well, yeah, I'll just keep things same there, instead of creating consciously from the chest that says, I know these things and I'm not doing anything about change. Okay, so we want to actually ground our energy so that it's natural for us to say, when something happens in my life, I need to take a wider aspect to it. Now, that is not a wider time frame. That is this. I'm aware of it in my mind. So my mental capacity. Okay, my mental wave, noticing in the field certain things trying to get my attention. I'm aware of it. Now, because we don't have the mind-body connection as though it's directly linked. Directly linked. It's like we can think things, and we think our thoughts don't sort of manifest anywhere in our form, because we think we're just what we see. It's only if something finally surfaces and we got aches, pains, worries, concerns, and have to go and see about it or something, right? But there is a mind-body connection, and we have been bringing that to the surface on this planet for some years now. And we have the introduction of more herbal, like naturopathy way of looking at life, instead of the synthetic base, copying nature for a quick fix of something, as though that's our fix and we should stop there. Prescription medicine goes through the freaking roof because people think the quick fix is the way. Like going to the doctor with that in and out kind of framework. Oh, this is what we normally have for that. Okay, that should do it. But really, we need a whole depth, take care, one with life response. So it is a falling in from the chest. So we have no excuse, right? And there is an energy like concrete in our air that says, nose in the air, we have every excuse. This is what we do. And we all know, I don't need to sit here and explain to us how that occurs. Many times we turn and pretend like we have an excuse. And so nothing has to change. You don't have to do that new thing or anything at all. You don't have the responsibility to get a wider view of your existence. You can just brush it off to, this is what we do. That's like concrete, and we are not grounded. So when I think of concrete, I think the divine and all the gifts of this life, right? This, eyes, whoa, color. Life helped us create this. Divine life, being here temporarily, helped us create this. All right. So that doesn't go in very far. That's just what we have. That's just what we do. We just throw out any thoughts. We don't have to take responsibility. Someone else will do that. And that's why it's concrete, and we don't ground the divine that we are. It will get to like the hips, and we think, this is very real and true, we think from the hips down, what we've been doing, nothing has to change. Now, I'm saying this is a whole perspective. I am not saying as humans we are doing what we can in this concrete field, because we are. That's why I'm talking about it. We are, but this is what we're working with. So for us each to be of real assistance, we have to stop thinking same, we know it all. And this is why people can't get heard, and we think we're keeping it easy for everyone when we keep things reliably the same. Like, I'm not saying everyone, so I would say like people that think with the openness of a conscious heart field, and we can open more, but this is not lovey-dovey seen to be just loving. This is, we are willing to go down from our open heart, whatever we are, and expand this in our own field, which doesn't mean out there first. It means from the platform I have, I'm willing to go within my actions, choices, and connections to break down, earthing through my field, anything that I'm told can't shift, but I know here we must do something else. Heaven to earth, that's when it's speaking to you. We must do something else. Okay, that is when we finally admit that divine will. We are a part of divine will. We're not just down here running around in the mess trying to figure it out with each other. We are co-creating in an uprise of light from those who have been accepting this already. We've been grounded, breaking down all the old, stepping away from things that say you have to stay the same, you're just here for a shopping mall at the end of the week, you know. Well, actually, no, we're not, because this shit will probably end up in the garbage one day and I'll be back as a spirit. So no, I'm not just here to keep things same, make some money, zip my lips, watch shit happen, and do nothing else with my body. Change. Mind, actions, body. Because we've been living in the concrete. Awareness that everything's fine, that's already built. Oh, and we're scratching our heads, gee, I really don't like that. And so many people can get together and discuss how they don't like certain things. But what do? Carry on, same. Because our divine structure of our being is out there. But what is it truly, right? Say we be involved in religion or any kind of church practice where we meet up. What actually is it? All right? Because it's not all what's written down biblically for any particular religion. It's not all that. It's what can be read, spoken to each other, discussed about, and opened up. But you can feel when things get rigidly, this is the word that's been spoken, even though there's been adjustments of all kinds and all different voices and minds, you can feel the rigidity. If you want to live a divine life, you need to get a bit more rigid and dependably rigid with us, which is where the grounded human in expanse awareness says, I like meeting up for this community, but I will not be looked at as though I have to conform, really. Conform. Once you start feeling like you have to conform and do a certain thing or be a certain way, that's when it is religion. Religiously doing a particular thing. Okay? But divinity calls you to sometimes look different. So this is not personal, but when people are selling religion sometimes, like, they're dressing their best and putting on an appearance, but it's like, if you want to connect with people, it's like, just be yourself and smile and say, hey, I've got this that I read when I'm feeling this way. How are you going today? Is there anything that, you want to sit down and have a chat about? But not, well, the Lord says, and this is definitely what's going to happen, and things like this. All right, because then we start thinking still in a concrete manner that if we're like this is what saves us. We've got to remember it's not out there. So be careful in addressing someone else out there, because we'll have ourselves shifting our energy to out there, when really I want to take the word religion out of the focus and say divinity is the air we breathe. And the air we breathe doesn't want us to restrict it. Okay, so if you can think like that, then allow yourself to drop into yourself. You are divinity. And when you get any kind of sign out there that speaks to you, you have to take the time with it in here that spoke to you. Now, if we're going to call anything religion, it's listening to that. Did you need to pick up a book for that? No. Life's energy is speaking to your soul's energy because there's something going on there. You have to be honest with yourself that you received a hit, or all of life is divinely speaking to you. So it just depends whether you're shopping cart focused, forward like, and that's life, which produces I don't do much change in my foundational level of consciousness. Okay, because these colors are vertical for a reason, and this is how we function bodily as well. So if you're functioning in balance after you've read about this consciousness, which means you are open from receiving divinely, okay, because the violet white light at the top, chakra representation, is already like our whole field. So if you receive from life at any angle and you're willing to be with that message, where you don't have a concrete structure in place for your lower foundation built on beliefs or environments or the way things are, etc., you'll allow change. You'll actually, because it is lower body as well, so base of spine up, you'll allow change in the foundations. And so this is what I mean, coming full circle, that we don't know. We don't know everything, so we need to drop back to, yes, we're living in a world, and if we make a shift, we don't know anything. And we're willing to receive divine guidance. And in that, what is that? What does that do when you're willing to have eyes that say, there's so much more going on, so when something actually hits me, like, can jolt me, like, in feelings, because we have the emotional and the mental. So something in the world speaks to us mentally, we feel something emotionally, we can't ignore that. Now we have to get good at discerning on what we should actually give our attention to then, and what inside speaking says no, just pull back. So cleaning up the energy field on how we respond to life and what we spend our time thinking. So that's why when you receive something, don't pretend you didn't receive something, okay? Because life is always going to be signifying, whether you're going at any time about any thought, choice, response to anything, whether you're going towards what's for you and it feels good somewhere in there. You've got a signal that says upward vibration. Yeah, keep going. Or you're new at this in a way, and you know something has hit you to some level. You have to make the promise to yourself of consciousness. You're going to be conscious about it. Otherwise, you could just carry on in life, not discerning that you received had some meaning for you, because that could start repeating. And then, yes, I'll receive the guidance. So when you receive the guidance at any level, right, and it's yours because you know it, you felt something, big or small, having the practice in place where you have your own sacred space awareness come to light for you. So you make a beautiful space for yourself. Now, what I mean is not materially. Have whatever you want in your environment. Make sure it's not something that stops you from going within. So like, perhaps just not too many, anything of stimulus. So you want to make your space, your sacred space, a beautiful place and beautiful space that you sit down and it becomes a place in felt experience. And what are you doing? You're just sitting there, but it becomes a place that you have become one with, that's always been there, but now you're giving it the space. And it doesn't matter what you bring to this place. It's like if something's in your mind that's like niggling, give it a little consciousness and discern whether it's worth your valuable time and energy, because your valuable time and energy manifests in form what you're going to think about. So what you're going to think about is going to manifest into more thought of the same and start energetically attracting from your field the same. So this is where you've got a niggling argument you had with someone, or someone spoke to you a certain way. Now, allow your consciousness to be what it is. So feel that you don't like it, that you wish it could have been different, that you may not have got your point across, and lay it to rest. Just let it go now. All right? Because in the breath, your intention is, I only want to keep that which is worthy of me. Now, not worthy of your appearance in the world and who you are out there, your field, your layers, your body and your spiritual energy, which is your mind and emotional layering, one with the physical. for your whole spiritual sphere. You want to discern that you're not going to get caught up in out there and changing it. You're going to know what was important to you and be conscious with it and let the rest go. So you're just only holding on to, I'd really like it to be like this. Or next time I might, and something pops in. Okay, you're opening a space for clarity. Now, there's too much talking being done by me because I'm feeling utmost determined to express that we have more access, more life to live, and more spontaneous life to live, which is built on a lighter path and joy, because we're going to start discerning more to drop away what we keep in our fields that we don't need, that we just don't need, but we just give into, and we don't ground our energy. We give into same, and as though emotional bickering, mind and emotional body, to do with the physical person sitting here doing it, bickering energy is power. People can sit and argue in their own minds that things should have been a certain way, and they can keep going. We have to learn to drop it, okay? Get unattached from out there. And with breath practice, you can get more presence about yourself. And once we make that commitment, and it's in our own spaces, then we actually inhabit the good intent we want. We're not trying to make it change out there first. We're inhabiting, strengthening what we stand for. But I'm going to finish this video soon, I believe, because the main point of it is when you live in this world, think certain things, have certain things happen, and then you know there's like a light or like a gem or a crystal kind of, that feels nice, I'd like to do that, or that felt nice, there's something in that for me, or on all different levels. Like you get a ping kind of, that's a great idea. And it literally drops from the top to the bottom, and we can ignore those things. We can literally go in our minds, well, hang on, this is who I am in the world and this is who I've got to be, and I just carry on. Which is where we have to stop and either have a notepad or a journal, because there's another part of us we need to live. So this is how that groundedness of the bouquet I was feeling gets to strengthen as you come home to yourself. You are a co-creator. Life is giving you the messages and you don't know it all. You're walking hand in hand with the path of the divine. Okay? So there is love, beauty that we cannot see that is calling you to look into things. You are meant to connect with certain people, and They're angelic, all of us. Our higher light beingness has guidance teams of higher light beingness. We all have ancestry energy supporting Earth, been here before, want change, connected to us, helping us connect more on the planet. So a journal, for example, is part of your inner world, and it needs acknowledgement. Your inner world needs acknowledgement. So if writing is somewhat of interest to you, or you'd like to begin to be, like push yourself to get a pen and start writing, because things will start flowing from what needs to speak to you. Not what's already created or what humans are already doing. There is another connection, that we haven't been opening ourselves up to. That energetically, feet on this planet, magnetically, all of us have more open allowance, co-creative drawing to what we need. But we don't want to believe that, because for eons, that's too spiritual. That's not for me. I know I'm not religious. Truth bomb. We're all divine. So call it whatever you like. If you like Christianity for a bit, or if you want to go into some other religion and, branch out, so be it. But at the end of the day, if you study them all, it's all going to be how you treat yourself and others, what you speak, because that's community. You come together and you speak about certain information as though, even if it could have been twisted up through time, it's law, and we see it this way, and that's the way it is. But what law is make sure you keep it light and depth of love, treating yourself and others. Okay? Because divinely, you have pads of your feet on a magnetic planet, and you are divine light. That's why looking at animals, even more so, growing up in this world now, you see animals pure joy. They don't have the emotional and mental thoughts we do, but they have the same connection we do. They remind us, just like children, before manipulated in the current energies. So we are their light as well, which is why they are easily influenced by us, and our energies, if they're heavy, can take a toll on the animal kingdom as well. Through our actions, through our thoughts, through our mental body, emotional body, physical body, all one meshed together. Well, every other energy on the planet is the same, and we all feel it somewhat in environments or globally, depending on waves of consciousness and what everyone's thinking, like believing, thinking. Five minutes on the hour to go for this video, so I'm going to ask my guides if we have driven home the point of understanding that You are a divine being, so you have a magnetic cord from heaven to earth. And if that, let's say in your next sit down to just be, okay, so your mind, thoughts, emotions, physical body can just start to slow down, let go. Then what do you do? What do you tell yourself to stay there? You might play a walkthrough meditation or just some music. Good. All right. Maybe have a light fragrance in the air if you enjoy that. Maybe just a candle. Just get the setting that feels inwardly peaceful. And you deserve that, okay? Because that's what we are. Peace. Stillness, peace. We aren't these bodies forever. We aren't all the mind manipulation on this planet. We are and can live as good as we want, right? Expand that light. Drop away this temporary world, to and fro, push and pull, and ground our light. So you're in your sacred space, you're dropping that away. Now that's when the magic occurs. And don't discount that. That space and place, no one else can actually be you. No one can actually feel how it feels. We all resonate to the stillness of peace, light, essentially, right? And in that, it can talk, give power to our souls, our unique souls. Unique in every way. We might have similarities in this world, but no one can be you and do your kind of inner world, natural flow. So that's the aim, to get into the most allowance of your most inner world, direction, guidance, and speak, your inner world now, not just, so you feel divine guidance in you. And once you practice it, you feel it and you know to what percentage it's definitely yours. All right. But at the start, it can be like, is that for me? Well, that's where you hold your space and you start getting rid of stuff, and then you'll sit with your energy and discern. Ah, yes, that does have a inner world sitting on my own resonance feeling for me to look at. And then we have to keep the peace and not go structured, which means connect with your magnetic divinity on this earth. It's as simple as those words. So you're just going to have to stay in your peaceful settings. You're going to have to just allow yourself the time and space for your energy field to connect, to be present for your soul, just present. Your human is just present for your soul. And that's what's going to connect with the earth more happily and guide through this strengthening field awareness, soul fully. So I feel that's enough words to be said for sure. You have enough instruction to build your practice going within, to embody more of your soul. Now, one last piece of advice, because I needed it and I found it. Just don't forget, right? The energy of this world and how we think normally and how we think we have to deal with things can get in the way. What you're doing when you sit in your sacred space is remembering you're not just that thinking human that keeps things running or in place. You are a higher being of light. In that, you will find so much more to life. God bless everyone. You will find so much within, without, so much more to life. So much more. Remember, we've got to keep remembering, we are not just to get up and be the usual humans all the time. If we keep things going the way they are, nothing will change. And we have been in an extremely densifying, slowed process, breaking down like flowers coming through the concrete. Definitively, we are definitely, it's happening. But we must take that accountability of being responsible for expanding that to ourselves. Then we start to see in the strengthening, that's the light we bring definitively to the world. But not, remember, it's unknown. It's not a permanent structure. So you're not looking at your next step in life as though that's my next building blocks in that kind of tone. It's more, I love that path I'm building. I love being on it. And in it, that life. I'm walking that path. I am it. And it's great. I am doing it. But the doing comes from the instilling of the being. Who am I? Okay, and that's a question you can ask, say in meditation. Honestly, it's okay to act like it's the beginning. Who am I each week? Because we're constantly in motion. Energy. All right? Yes, you will have this body for this lifetime. Great. That's who you are. But the inside is not the same we see on the outside. We can't literally see all that change. But you know what? A lot of the time, You can see in people when they're operating from the inside, because they don't appear same. Oh yeah, they might have the similar appearance to the person they present as, but there's something about them that's just shining, because they're not same. They're light beings, open to spontaneity and gifts of the universe and listening. So when we listen, it's like our whole field is listening, because our vibration is going to attract what we're hearing. Okay, so if your vibration is cleaned up and you're discerning what's worthy and what's not, you'll have a cleaner and clearer vibration, and that's your level of attraction. And it's the higher it is, the more full it is in light of life response and responsiveness. I'll leave it there. God bless. There's actually one more thing, just brief, but I just want us to remember this, that in any of our studies, let's be careful a little with our vocabulary of the divine. Okay, like I mentioned, whether we address God as what feels right to you is fine. But let's remember, because it's written a lot, as Jesus Christ was male, well, so too Mary was female. So these divine beings, right, represent or present as he and her, him and she, right? But when we're directing divine speak, which is the blend of both of these, and also not only calling God him, right? It takes the consciousness of a person into something outside of me of masculine representation. All right? It just does, for the way our vocabulary is used on this planet. It's directly linked to the mind. It's directly linked to men do that, women do this. Well, no, because we're both masculine and feminine, both sexes. Okay? And the blend of those is what's important. So it's not like I'm saying I want change, like, let's address, she would like us to do this. We know much about many she and he's of representing godly nature that we can follow. But let's always highlight, whether we use he or her, him or she, let's perhaps make sure we highlight in the same space that it doesn't actually have it's not a sex, it's a blend. Okay, like it's our divinity, because on earth we identify like this, but in heaven we don't have a sex. Okay, in heaven we can identify with memories of our consciousness that we like to represent as, like we can be more feminine or the little masculine bits or whatever, but it's not thought of like that. It's basically memory, feeling, or And I use the word memory lightly as well. It's not like we have memory of everything that went on here or anything. It's more soul awareness of eternal soul being. I might, choose, and they don't have this slow down reality spiritually. I might choose to be this at that time and look at this for my learning now as a soul and spirit. Or I might go in and enjoy, I have time. That is always still learning no matter what you're doing, but I might just go and do this because it feels good. So my point is, let's not kind of concrete direct to a one-sided nature of action, like in his word and do good by him. It's still, it's fine, do what you like, but I'm saying for people to ground it at our creative centers, sometimes we can carry on with same, which means we don't have a lot of change because we might be too much in our heads. So for me, when I hear it, I'm okay with it, but I still know, like, I have this feeling that says, how far reaching is the words if we're blocking in minds that aren't reaching divine awareness yet? They are thinking like, do it for him. And so it's not a real connection. It's more like, you're a divine being and we all have divine power running through us. And you can use it in the silent, soft creation of, say, meditation to strengthen your field, and then take action. So feminine, soft, what you cannot really see yet when we're talking energy. Masculine, taking action with the feminine. So you can see how the two divine beings brought that together for a blended massive impact. Apart from people wanting to get hold of it and create judgment, and those that didn't like him, and she's still here, and rah, 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 and we don't want them together, so rumor is great, and blah, blah, blah. When you're just looking at two guides that held the light, their soul paths led them to be representations of, to help shift the planet, like for each of us to feel better knowing our light. God bless everyone. Thank you for listening if you made it this far, and I hope that helped. Bye for now.